friends, welcome back to my channel, or if you guys are new here, then welcome. I would love if you guys would hit that subscribe button, click the bell next to it, and hit select all so you'll be notified of all my future uploads. And let's dive on in. It's another month, guys. Oh my gosh, I am still just like so mind blown that it is July, because that means half of the year is already over. Like, I feel like I literally said like a week ago that it's June. Oh, this hoodie's driving it. I really literally feel like I just said a week ago that it was June and now it's July. So there's a disconnect somewhere. Ugh. All right, but it is another time for a Shop My Stash, and I'm not going to lie. I think this was probably one of my most successful Shop My Stashes to date. So if you guys are excited to see the products I used last month, how much progress I made, my thoughts on them, and what products I have picked for this month, then definitely keep on watching. All right, first things first. I have used the NARS smudge proof eyeshadow base. This was fine. This was good. It worked. It held my eyeshadows. Couldn't have asked for anything better. That's all I have to say on this. This goes with me in every Shop My Stash bag. It's what sets my lid shades. So this is also just going to go into the next Shop My Stash bag. So you already know this is going to be in there. It's going to stay. In terms of palette, I use the Pure X Raw Beauty Christie. I used and abused this palette. Oh man. It is definitely a beautiful palette. I was very impressed with all the looks that I got. The only downside to this is that the fallout is atrocious. Like, you get a ton of fallout, and usually I'm not super mad about fallout as long as like the pigment is there, but it's like this is like excessive fallout. Like, it's more fallout than anybody should have to put up with, truthfully. So yeah, I don't know, but as you can tell, like as you can see in that shade, like I've really made a dent in that one. That's the one that I use to like set my lid like every single day. I really liked the shimmers. I think the two shimmer options were absolutely beautiful. I feel like I always got compliments on my eye looks. So yeah, definitely this was such a great palette. I'm really sad that it's discontinued because I do think this is a good palette, but I'm glad that I did get some use out of it. Okay, these Janessa Myricks Twin Flames Multi-Chrome Pigment. I think I'm just gonna have to bite the bullet and call this a loss. Luckily I got this in a Tread Moon box, so it's basically like I got these for free anyways. But no matter how I tried to use them with a glitter primer without setting the lid, not setting the lid, putting powder on top of these, something to try to get them to stay, it just, a huge patch like was gone, and it was so noticeable. It wasn't noticeable from like far away because you could still kind of see like a little bit like around like the lower part, but I mean if I closed my eyes or looked down, it was noticeable that there was a very large patch missing. I then was like, well, maybe I can use these on my cheeks, and it just doesn't blend out super well, so you have like a very like defined line right here, especially like even if I do it on my hand and then tap it in. This is just not a good product. I think maybe if you don't have hooded creasy eyelids, maybe these will work fine for you, but for me with hooded creasy downturned eyes, all that, these weren't a win. So I think it's time to just like move along. For my hydrating primer, I have the Too Faced Plump and Prime. I used about half of this in the whole month. This is nice. I don't really notice a whole lot of like plumping, but I will say it definitely is like very hydrating. So I really liked it in that regards. A little bit of this goes a very long way. I think I only had to use like 2 or 3 pumps to like cover my whole face. This is not a bad product at all. I thoroughly enjoyed this. Definitely, you know, excited to reach into this again. For my pore setting or pore filling primer, I used the One Size Secure the Blur Makeup Magnet Primer. This is nice. This is decent. I actually think that those two work together nicely. I haven't really found a primer that I don't really feel like this works with. So I feel like those two work together. I do thoroughly enjoy this. I think it did a great job like setting my makeup. I'm so excited to keep this in my collection. For foundation was the Anastasia Beverly Hills Luminous Foundation. I got quite a bit of use out of this. You can't ever tell like how much you've used out of these. I don't know. The only downside is that the pump, like you pump out some and then it like gets stuck and you have to like pull the top back up, and that drives me nuts. But this foundation is absolutely beautiful. I have dry leaning, dry skin, and this is just absolutely stunning. on my dry skin. Even if I set it, like, it still just looks beautiful. This is fantastic. I feel like it looks better the longer that I wear it. So yeah, I would say if you have dry skin, definitely go and check this out. I can't really say anything if you have oily skin. I would assume it's probably not going to work as well, but overall I'm really happy with this. Tarte Shape Tape, the original concealer. I am getting so close to like using this up. Like, I am at that point where I'm like scraping the sides to get product. So I think I'm gonna, instead of getting rid of this, I'm gonna keep this in my collection because I do have a Shop My Stash where it's like products I want to use up. And I'm gonna stick this in there to try to use that up. And who knows, you know, whatever another Shop My Stash that I use, I could definitely pull this in for other Shop My Stashes to use this up. So I'm really excited that I'm getting so close to finishing this up. I've had this for like a year and a half. It says it's only good for 6 months, but it's fine. We're still going. Doesn't burn, doesn't have a weird smell, and its coverage is still good. So gonna keep on using this. For setting powder, as you can tell, this is so dirty. It's the Tatcha, the Silk Powder. Okay, I don't really care for this under the eyes, but I have dry skin, so I can't usually ever set my face. Like, I can't ever set my face or it looks just powdery and cakey. But something about following the directions of how this says to use it, which is use a big fluffy brush, swirl it in there, and then tap out the excess, and then setting your face leaves my skin, 1, satin, but 2, not looking dry or cakey. It just looks satin. I don't know. I can't explain it. Like, I've not been able to really find a powder that I've really been able to do that and not have it look like I'm wearing powder. It's bizarre to me. I know there's a lot of like mixed reviews on this, but I honestly love this powder. I think this is a great powder, especially if you have dry skin. If you're trying to bake, you're probably not going to like this. If you're trying to just dip your brush in and then go in, that's not going to work. You really do have to dust off all of the excess and then go in and swirl it around. That's the way that I found best, and I absolutely love this. For a little lip balm, it was the ColourPop Mr. Mint. Still going, and I use that every single day. Still going. It'll go into another Shop My Stash. I've got 2 that are open right now, and I just alternate between the 2, but this we're working on it. I've got a few lip products. The first one is this red Date Night from Dose of Colors. I'm not gonna lie, I used this maybe 4 times throughout like the whole month, and one of them was doing like the Get Ready With Me Shop My Stash. So other than that, I used it like 3 times. I feel like it's nice to have like a red lip to like wear once in a while. Red lip probably isn't like for me to wear like every day. I know some people can wear red lips every day. I just personally can't. But I do love like when I have that occasion where I am wearing a red lip. I feel like very sophisticated, very elegant. But yeah, so not a lot of use out of this, but I am okay because I don't want to wear red every day, but I do like having the option for in the event I do want to go that route. Then I have the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude in Omarosa. I mean, like, yeah, I mean, I got some pretty good use out of this. This is probably, this and the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Gloss are probably like the 2 that I got the most out of, because I would either use just this and go on about my day, or I would use just this, or I would pair the 2. So these are the 2 lip products I probably got the most use out of. I don't know which one, you know, out of these 2 I used the most. I feel like I use them probably about equally, honestly. All right, brow products. So I have the Benefit Precisely My Brow. This is in the shade 4. I am so close to being done with this. Like, can you see that? So close. But you guys, I have realized that I think 4 might be a little bit too dark, potentially a little bit too warm for me. So if I were ever to like use this up and go and repurchase this, which I don't know how like much I'm wanting to repurchase a high-end brow pencil, considering like I have lots of good drugstore ones, but I would definitely need to like look into maybe like 3.5, just because 4 I realized was a little bit too dark. For the brow gel, I used the Insta Brow Fix from Thrive in the shade Audrey. I do like this. It held my brows nicely, gave it a nice tint, but I do have to like scrape off like the side of the brushes before I just, you know, randomly just like start going in. Or else like it gets everywhere. Yeah, just like that. mascara. I like, okay. I like this mascara. I just hate taking it off. This doesn't like transfer up to my brow, which like a lot of them do because like my brows will hit this like little downturned part of my eye. But this does not do that. This makes my lashes look nice and long. Not so much voluminous, but it does make them look nice and long. Lasts all day, no flaking, no clumping. None of that. So I like that. I just hate trying to take this off. I just want to be able to go in with my cleansing balm or oil and just get it all off and then go over with my makeup eraser. But with this, I have to go and do all of that, wipe it off, and then take warm hot water and sit there and rub my eyes until it finally like comes off. And it's just like, oh, come on. Why are we doing this added step? And then it's like, I guess that's the price you pay for like not having it do all the other things that a lot of mascaras do, but still. Setting sprays. I used up 2 setting sprays. I used up the summer solstice one, and then I finished this one up. I've had this one for like 2 years or 3 years, something like that. And so like there was like barely any of this left, but I was finally able to use it. I feel like it was like the last day that I was using these products. And I made it. Yeah. This one I used, I don't think you're missing out if it's like one of those, oh, it's a summer solstice, the packaging's so cute. I mean, it just smells like coconut. Like, you're not really missing anything. Let's move on to the blush. I had pulled in the Patrick Ta Do We Know Her, which has a cream blush and a regular blush, but that's how ham I went on the cream blush. Like, I used this every single day. Every single day. Anytime I was doing my makeup, I used this. Because like, I film YouTube videos, so sometimes I'm like, you know, needing to take my makeup off and like redo it. But I was always going in with that cream blush. If I wanted to like add a little bit more or, you know, kind of set it so it stayed better, I would add this, but I was not going into this near as much as I was going into this. This was so good. I can't believe I'm almost finished with the cream part. And like, granted, I'll still keep it for the powder part, but I'm just like blown away that like, it's almost gone. My cream contour. I'm really proud of this as well. I have hit pan in that. There is a little bit left of this, you know, but a little bit goes a long way. So this could definitely last for quite a while. This is one of my favorites. I think everybody knows this is one of my favorites. I will continue to rave about this. I'm just really sad because when I use this up, I know I need to finish up more cream contours or bronzers or whatever, because I have a lot of those. But it's like, I really want to like use this though. I want to use this. All right, highlighter. I used the Thrive highlighter in the shade Liberty. Yeah, I was floored as well. Like, obviously it's going to take a long time to get through this, but I feel like I just focused my brush just like literally in one area. And then, yeah, and then like the bump happened, the dip happened, the pan happened. It's a beautiful shade. It's definitely like a lit from within glow. It's not anything like over the top blinding, which is something that I really like for like every day. But like, man, I can't believe that I hit pan on this. Like, I'm still just like, wow, Harrington, you hit pan on that. Last product to talk about that I have used is my Pure Bronzer. And I used this up completely. 100% completely used it up. You can still smell the cocoa-ness of this. I want to repurchase this, but I have so many bronzers that I'm like, all right, Carrington, just like take a step back. It's going to be okay. Use other bronzers and then come back and get this. Or if Ulta ever does like the, you know, 10 times the points on purchases, then I would probably purchase a few of these. But this is my all-time favorite bronzer. That's not going to change. And when I used that one up, I then went on to my little Hourglass one. This is like a little, it's like the mini. But I've been using this for like, I had used this for like a week. Very beautiful, nice and light as well. And I still have not made much progress in this, but that's okay because my progress was focused in this and I am so excited. All right, so that is everything from last month's Shop My Stash high-end edition. So now let's jump into the next Shop My Stash bag, which is going to be a drugstore edition. Yeah, I've got like 24 ideas for like different Shop My Stashes I want to do. So I think I'm going to start making like a random wheel. Pick it next month. I will be picking it because it's going to be like my favorites for summer. And then after that, like, you know, the next 2 months, then I'll have the wheel pick, and then I'll do like my favorites for fall, have the wheel pick, so on and so forth. So those are kind of my ideas. So definitely make sure you guys are subscribed so you guys can see like all the ideas that I have and what I'm going to put in those Shop My Stashes. But let's go ahead and let's see what is in my drugstore Shop My Stash bag. So first is this mint balm from Hard Candy times Marilyn Monroe. I'm just trying to use this up. So that's just going in there. Just to hydrate my lips before makeup. For eyeshadow primer, we have the Blvd eye base. This is drugstore. You can find this at Dollar General. Just go to your local Dollar General. It'll be there. So that's what I'm putting in for this month. All right, for eyeshadow palettes, I have more than just these, but I don't really feel like the need to like pull all of them out. It's the e.l.f. Bite-sized eyeshadow palettes. I have every single one. I have all 8. There's like 10 or 11 total. I have all of those. They're in my bag. I will say these are really fragile. The shimmers are. I've had quite a few of them break, which is kind of sad, but at least they're $3 and easy to repurchase. For face primers, I have the Physicians Formula Skin Boost for my hydrating primer. I did not think I was going to love this, but I do, and so I decided to put it in here. And for my pore filling, I have the NYX Angel Veil Primer. Allie Glines raves about this all the time. I have used this in another Shop My Stash, and it is good, especially for drugstore. I will say it's a little bit pricey for drugstore, but overall I'm excited to use this again. My foundation option is the Wet n Wild Bare Focus Tinted Hydrator. This is so beautiful. I used, you know, my products to get this look. If you guys want to see this look, make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button and clicked the bell, because this will be the next video coming up. So you are seeing this on Monday. You will see that next video on Wednesday. So make sure you guys are subscribed and have clicked the little bell. But I have used this like a few times and I have fallen in love with this. Joanne, my friend, turned me on to this, and now I'm like, why didn't I know about this sooner? But like, this is so good. For concealer, we're doing the L'Oreal Age Perfect Radiant Concealer. I feel like I just put this in a Shop My Stash, but I had used up quite a bit of it in that like Shop My Stash. So now I'm like, well, let's see how much more of this I can use. So that is back in here. Cream contour, we're trying this again. I know. But I used it today. I kind of have found that I like to put it on the back of my hand and then dab it on with a sponge. I feel like that's like my favorite way to apply it. And it does look nice. I will say it's a little bit orange. So this month I'm going to be looking slightly a bit orange, but I think it's going to be like okay. It's 1 month. It's summer. It's fine. But I think after this, like, I'll know like this is good, but this is way too warm for me. For setting powder, we have the L'Oreal Hydra Perfect setting powder. I think I used this one time and I also can't remember what I thought about it, but this is a drugstore powder that I wanted to get more use out of, so this is definitely going to be in there. For powder bronzer, I have the Wet n Wild Color Icon bronzer. Mine is in the shade Take It to Brazil. This is the lightest they have. This is also fairly orange, so I only need a really light hand with it compared with that, but good to try. Blushes. I put in a couple different blush options. I have the Wet n Wild blush in Mellow Wine. I have the L'Oreal Age Perfect Radiant Satin Blush in the shade Marigold. That's really bright. And then I have the Age Perfect Radiant Blush in the shade Rosewood. So I wanted to have some like different options. And so I feel like this definitely gives me a wide range of options. Definitely a lot of looks I can create just with blushes. So excited to have those. For mascara, I have the Maybelline The Falsies Lash Lift Mascara. I honestly cannot remember what I think about this. It's open, so I know I've had to have used it, but I don't remember like how long ago I used it because I can't remember anything about what I think about this. So I'm excited to be able to try this out and let you guys know what my first impression thoughts are, because it is kind of like a first impressions all over again because I can't remember anything about it. Okay, for highlighter, we also have some options. So the first is the Blvd in the shade Pop of Pink. You know, I had used this in that Shop My Stash, or no. In the Trying Believe Beauty, I'll link that down below, which is like a disaster video, but this was one of the things that wasn't like such a disaster. And so I was like, well, let's just go ahead and throw this in for once. And then I've pulled out the Milani Dulce Perla Baked Highlighter. This reminds me a lot of like the cookie highlighter, except for this is a little bit more powdery, whereas the cookie one is definitely like wet, more wet and cream-like. But I feel like the color that it gives off, the blindingness that it gives off are very similar. I've got the Highlight and Contour 1 palette from Profusion. I think I didn't really care for this, truthfully, or at least like the contour, but like the highlight looks beautiful, so might as well throw it in, use it up. For setting spray, I have the Milani Make It Last setting spray. This is just the original one. I've had this for a while. It does have a very like aggressive sprayer, so make sure you're holding this far away if you have it. Okay. I think we only have 2 more categories to talk about. So brows are next. So for brow gel, I am using NYX the Brow Glue. I love this. I think this is like such a good brow glue, especially for like it being in the drugstore. And then for the pencil, I'm using the e.l.f. Ultra Precise Brow Pencil. I think mine is like in the shade like medium or brunette or something. Okay. This is such a good brow pencil, and like it's like $3 or $5, something like that. Something wildly cheap, and like it's so good that it beats like so many of my high ends. Like if you don't have that brow pencil, you should definitely go out and go buy one. Lips. So first let's talk about lip glosses. So I have one lip gloss from Maybelline. This is the Lifter Gloss. Mine is in the shade Moon. And then I have one from Wet n Wild. This is like the Color Icon lip gloss in the shade Aquarius. Just nice to have a nice gloss in your little bag. All right, and then I have these lip liners right here. I have the shade Nutmeg, shade 1, Peekaboo Neutral, and then I've got Au Naturel and Spice from Milani, and that's to pair with these Almay lipsticks. So for the Almay lipsticks, I have Worry Less, Go Wild, Call Out, and Believe. Alright guys, and that is it for today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed. You know what's in your guys' Shop My Stash this month? Have you guys made any progress in your previous Shop My Stashes? Have you guys used up some products? I know I always get the most excited, sometimes sad, whenever I use up a product because it's like, yes, I knew I could use this. But then like my pure bronzer is gone and I'm like, but I really loved that bronzer. So let me know if anybody else is like that. Like, do you like get like so happy when you use something up, but then sad at the same time because then you used it up? I don't know. Let me know if I'm the only one that thinks that way, if I'm the only one that's weird. But let me know that down in the comments below. I hope you guys are having a wonderful rest of your day. Give this video a thumbs up, comment, hit the subscribe button, and click the little bell. And I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.